Tanya. I am currently 29 weeks pregnant with my second baby. I have a little boy called Theo who will be 3 in April. That's just my cat yowling. And I'm currently just getting ready, so I thought I would just film and just update you with my 29-week pregnancy update. So this week I've been feeling really tired, similar to how I felt in the first trimester, in the first 12 weeks. So I have found that I've just been feeling quite lethargic, tired. I've had to have sort of lots of breaks on an evening, you know, when I've come home from work, which isn't normally like me. I have had my bloods checked on Thursday, just to make sure I'm not becoming anemic again. In pregnancy that can happen, especially sort of the later stages of pregnancy. So I have just asked the hospital to check that, just to make sure that I am not iron deficient. I'm just trying to eat lots of iron-rich foods as well, in case that I am. But yeah, just feeling very tired. I'm not sure whether we're coming down with something. Theo seems to have been okay, and Gary seems to have been okay. But as I say, I'm just very tired this week. I've had an appointment at the hospital, a diabetes review, and also a consult appointment with the obstetrician. I always get confused because there's that many people that see me at each appointment. I usually see a consultant, an obstetrician, who else do I see? I've forgotten the other medical name. There's a man who tends to advise on the scans, scan sort of photos, and radiographer, is it? Sonographer, there we are, sonographer. He was there as well, so I will just update you with where we are with the scans. So the last scan was approximately a week and a bit ago. The baby's doing really well, very normal size, very normal weight for a diabetic baby, so that's really reassuring. And at the appointment I checked my dates, because they had originally put my C-section date in for the end of March, and it just didn't seem to sit particularly well with me. In terms of dates, I thought it was a bit late. I queried it, and it is late. They have said that I'll be nearly 40 weeks by then, which they're not happy, and they, for diabetic pregnancy, they wouldn't leave me they wouldn't let me go that long before having a C-section or a natural birth. Your baby at the end of pregnancy can put on a lot of weight. So with Theo, we found he was very normal, and then at the end he did put on a lot of weight. My blood sugars didn't seem to spike too much, but it's a preventative measure with the hospital, and I'm really in support of that. It's whatever's sort of healthiest for the baby, and for me. That's the most important thing. So they discussed the options. They have said that because of what happened last time, Theo was delivered by emergency C-section. I was induced. I'll link my my birth story sort of down below, just so you can get up to speed with what happened with him. But because of what happened with Theo, they would rather do my C-section at 37 weeks, which isn't long, isn't that long away. So you're talking 7.5 weeks almost 8 weeks away. There's pros and cons, I think, with doing that. The hospital feel that this would be, well, they said that they would feel safer with that. However, there is a risk of infection with a baby that's delivered early. They've said that I would need to be on antibiotics for a week, intravenous antibiotics. That would mean getting me into hospital, and again, I feel quite uncomfortable about that. I've not spent a considerable amount of time away from Theo since he was born. Maybe a night or 2 nights at the most. So that would be a big shock. I have said I said to the sonographer that I would rather wait until 38 weeks, which was the original plan, and have my C-section then, and they have agreed to do regular scans as it did with Theo and just review it each time. So one option that I have put to the hospital is that in my 38th week, so my final week, if you will, of pregnancy, if I'm going in for C-section at 38 weeks, that I would maybe go into the hospital regularly for scans, just so that if anything does happen with placenta or baby, that could be picked up nice and early. That would reassure me, and also hopefully will reassure the hospital. But as I say, I'm definitely not a risk taker. I want everything to be as smooth as possible with this baby. So I will wait and hear what they advise at each scan. And as I say, if it is that I have to be brought in very early, at 37 weeks, then I suppose so be it. It's just, it wouldn't be my preference at this point. The consultant, the diabetic consultant, checked all of my bloods. I have said in former videos that I am now becoming insulin resistant, which is very common in pregnancy, and one idea that they had was to try and switch back to no carbs in a morning and then a low carb meal in an afternoon. So this is something that I will now need to sort of think about, plan again. I had this at the start of pregnancy. I coped fairly well. It just requires lots of thought and lots of planning for meals, because it's just so easy to have a bowl of cereal or toast or something like that with Theo. That's what he has every morning, and you know, he loves it. So it will just require some planning. I haven't started that yet, but I will update you with sort of meal options and things, because if you are having low carb, it can get quite difficult, and especially for eating out or for just for a variety. That's the thing that I found hard. It's just, you feel like you're eating the same thing for each meal. So I will, as I say, I will be planning on doing that this weekend, and I will make a little video just on maybe a day with what I'm eating, what I'm having. So that change will hopefully help iron out some strange blood sugars. With what we were finding was, in the morning, no matter how much insulin I have with my breakfast, this is a carbohydrate breakfast, so like a porridge or Weetabix or something, my blood sugars are struggling to come down. So the ranges were between sort of 9, probably 9 and 11, and then at lunchtime it would seem to come back down and then be settled again for the afternoon and evening. And that was whether I was having you know, 4 times as much insulin, went up to 6 times as much insulin, and the blood sugars were still the same in the morning. So at this point they've said, rather than keep having more and more and more insulin, just to go no carb and try that. The danger with having more insulin is that for the rest of the day, I do run the risk of having hypoglycemia, and I was definitely finding that. So between sort of 3 and 4 o'clock most days, and again about 6 o'clock, I would tend to become hypoglycemic, which isn't ideal, and especially if I'm leaving work or I've got driving or anything like that, it does just impact on your life. With a hypo, with driving, you are supposed to wait 30 minutes after your blood sugars have come back up, and as I say, that can just be an inconvenience, if you are waiting to go somewhere. It does just put extra additional time that you possibly did not account for. So hopefully this will rule it out, because it is annoying. But other than that, in my 29th week, that's a bit better. Look a little bit more human now. In my 29th week, I've been finding I'm getting growing pains. That's the only way I'd describe it, in my tummy. So similar to what I remember being a teenager. Pain with my bump growing. I do try and moisturise every evening after a bath, and that has helped so far. I haven't got any stretch marks or anything, but it does. The bump is fairly sore, and I think as the skin's just becoming more and more stretched, that's the pain really. So that is something that I have noticed. I'm still as breathless as last week, and that's just less and less room within me to sort of breathe properly. So that's something I'm just a bit more mindful of. So if I'm swimming or anything with Theo or soft play, I'm just trying to be a bit kind to myself. And I don't know if anybody else has found that you have to take a break, and Theo's really good. He knows that, and he'll sort of say, "Are you okay, mummy? You have a rest. Or if we're doing like a long walk, again, I really enjoy walking, really enjoy being out and about, but do find that I'm more breathy, more breathless. So that's, hang on, I'm just doing my eyebrows. The other thing we've been doing this week is decorating Theo and baby's bedrooms. Our plan is that the baby is going to go in one of our other bedrooms, and we are decorating that nursery this weekend. So we've got sort of nice wallpaper and things, and then the cot will, out of Theo's room, will go into there with his furniture. He's got a change table, which is now just a chest of drawers because he is older, and Theo's room, he's going into a single bed now, because he's at that point where in reality his toddler bed isn't going to last a huge amount longer, and he's just old enough. We feel he's old enough now to move into a proper single bed, and we have and as I say, we need the cot back. So we will be doing that this weekend, and I'll take sort of a couple of pictures. The plan is to try and do it just in one weekend, just so that we don't have to take any time off work. We both work full time, and so that Theo gets to experience his new room sort of well before baby comes. What I was really mindful of was it being quite overwhelming for Theo. So if baby arrived and then we change his room, and there's there's already lots of upheaval and then a new bed and all different things like that. It's, I think for their age, he will still be less than 3. It's a lot of change for a little person. So advice and things that I read was, if you're going to make big changes, I suppose like a new room, or I suppose moving house maybe, try your hardest, and stuff doesn't always go to plan, but try your hardest to do it in good time of sort of having the baby, so that the little one has a bit of headspace and a bit of time to get used to it, because as I say, their life is going to change quite dramatically. So that's something that we have tried to do. As I say, I will do a little video over the weekend. It probably won't be that long, just with a bit of sort of decorating and sorting. I've still got all of the baby clothes to sort out in the nursery. I've washed most of them, and I just need to sort them all out now. A lot of them need ironing, so that will be lots and lots of hours of prep, I suppose, but I'll do that over the following weeks, and I do have a couple of weeks off before baby comes, so again I will hopefully be using the time constructively to do lots of ironing. As always, thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe, and as I say, I will be in touch at the weekend and then next week for my 30-week update. Alright, bye bye.